Well, ladies and gentlemen, the season's over for the Colts, and needless to say, I am very disappointed that they ended 8-8. I mean, this season was without a doubt a disaster for the Indianapolis Colts. I expected them to once again win the division and get far into the playoffs, perhaps even to the Super Bowl. But obviously there were so many mistakes that were made during the season and even before the season began that ended up costing the Colts a spot in the playoffs. I mean, and you're probably asking, well, what mistakes did they make during the offseason? The mistakes that they made was that they did not improve their O-line or their defense. They just focused on their wide receivers and their running backs and tight ends, and that's it. I mean, they made very little, if any, changes to their O-line or defense, and that's what cost them a spot in the playoffs. I mean, that's the two main areas that a team absolutely has to have in order to get to the playoffs: an O-line and a defense, and the Colts had neither. So because of that, it's like the Houston Texans end up taking the AFC South, and the Colts, their season's over. They have no one going to the Pro Bowl, unless someone gets chosen as alternates, which is very unlikely. But yeah, it's just to Jim Irsay, to Ryan Grigson, and it's like my advice to you during this upcoming offseason: you have to improve your defense and your offensive line. I know you want to score a lot of points. I know you want to run up the score, but the fact of the matter is that is not possible without an offensive line to protect your quarterback. I mean, you saw what happened this season. We lost not one, not two, but three quarterbacks. That is not acceptable. With three quarterbacks get injured during the regular season, that is a red flag that you absolutely, positively must improve your O-line, which is what you need to focus your first two picks on for the draft. Your first and second round picks, use them to draft offensive linemen regardless of who else is available in other positions. As for your defense, during free agency this offseason, just exclusively focus on defense. Don't worry about picking up any additional offensive weapons. You have plenty of them. We need defense through free agency. We need a better O-line through the draft. It's that simple. And if you do those things, I guarantee you will once again win the AFC South. Because let's face it, it's because of our bad O-line that Andrew Luck, Matt Hasselbeck, and Charlie Whitehurst all got injured before the season ended. And I mean, Andrew Luck, I want him to play healthy, and it's not possible for him to play healthy if he doesn't have an O-line to protect him. This season, he injured his shoulder, he got a lacerated kidney, in which lasted a lot longer than we expected. We thought he'd be out for 2 to 6 weeks. It turns out he was out for the remainder of the season. It's like, I know Andrew Luck can succeed in the NFL. I know he can win a Super Bowl, but he has to have an O-line in order to get that Super Bowl ring. So yeah, unfortunately, my team, the Indianapolis Colts, missed the playoffs once again. They missed it in 2011, but they had an excuse. They had absolutely no quarterback. I mean, this season, there is no excuse for their blunders. I mean, they had an opportunity to make it to the playoffs, and they absolutely blew it. So those are my thoughts on the Indianapolis Colts season. It was a disaster. Hopefully, Jim Irsay and Ryan Grigson will get smart and actually improve their O-line and defense this year around. As for Chuck Pagano, I don't think he's coming back, with his contract expiring and a toxic relationship between him and Ryan Grigson. It's like, who knows who's going to be the head coach for the Indianapolis Colts. But hopefully things will improve for the 2016 season. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.